Be brave enough to submit to love. Not from the world at large, but from the sacred beat. That comes from your heart. No way to remain the same, and impossible to change. Our very essence, our purpose, is to experience this irony. Everyday cries for attention. Break down, build again. We are the company stars of our neighbors' dreams. I think, therefore I am. What? No mask has the opaqueness. One might think it does. Infinite divided by infinite, still one. The Art.IF.I.CIAL, physical. The devil's dance floor. The depth, attention to detail. All, funded by the source, our core. No matter what you hear, the past exists, and it is, as intense as it gets. You and I, inside, nature's dirty little secrets. No mask can ever be created, with adequate opaqueness, to hide from Father Time, not the mind, nor organic skin. The skull, protecting the illustration, the interpretation of the script, the blueprint. The knowledge, the lessons. The gatekeeper, the keymaster, the administrator, the communicator, the operations manager, the guardian of the guidelines, the resistance and the true essence and purveyor of darkness, the mayor of Sin City, the judge, the jury, yet, not the executor, but the altogether, executioner, the barrier, the boundary, the speaker of the house, before it becomes a home sweet home. For he speaks only on behalf of the company's comfort zone while given the authority to do so. The tenure, grandfathered in, equipped and tasked as the ego's anxious advocate, nervous pharmacist and numbing agent of the prescribed pain intolerance. The suppressor, old MacDonald the farmer, the traditionalist, the parent, and yet, this is just the paternal twins, testing of the two sides that are still derived from the same womb, only one side, the upper, or above side of the masculine's production house, and quarter note in the key of C minor. Using his henchmen, the ears and the eyes, energized by the direct current, consumption of all things, circumstantial, the artificial light, provided on the surface, to the superficial mind. Or brain, or lower mind, while doing the small deeds, necessary for the great act of physicality to take place, and provided governing authority, signed by the executive acts, time and time again. The officiality of participating, believing, coping, hoping, thinking. Thinking repeatedly that sides exist, outside the actuality of the only two that do. In and outside, of our personalized, uniquely defined and altogether impossible to deny without the admission of being guilty of perverted usury, lies and deception. Our organic skin. Why then, are we, every single one of us, guilty? I encourage you to question yourself on everything just as I was encouraged, 5 years ago. And that precisely means, to bring the darkness, conscious. Your true self just means whole. Body, mind, spirit, and soul. In that order. This is the amalgamation of the human experience thus far. To end something to surface. Superficial, simply means surface. E, is the representation of the three sides that line the path of perspective creation. Your body the map, your mind the key, your heart is the gold, mind atop, talking the talk, and only knows superficiality. The past, one creator of three. In protecting the heart, from feeling, emotionally, it thinks that it is keeping it safe. Securely bound to the familiar, and prefers nothing more, literally and figuratively. Loyal to its functionality, and officially, as good as it gets, from womb to tomb, till the death do us part. N. Intuition. The intuition payment, commonly referred to as penance. The bachelor's degree, is the birth. You have a body, you are a bachelor, a human, an ego in the making. Perspectives are required in this creationism. The skeleton, protecting the heart of darkness, the symphonic organic tones, the sake red essence, the C minor chords, playing separately. To unite the only divide, and rise, is to bridge the internal divide, the body, the mind, breaking the heart, causing the heartache, and the only materials any of us have. To bridge this gap, is communication, the very fundamental foundation of all existence, meaning physical, to spiritual, to mental, to emotional. 4 is significant here. Everything comes in 3s here, yet we all forget to include the observer, the personification, the character, experience, the house of cards, and the home, the core, the source, the singularity's practitioner, the magician's apprentice, the student, that receives the lesson after the test. The feeler, the crash test dummy, the fool, the embodiment of the bodies. Then beyond that, which puts us at the 5-point star, the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. Which, here I will share with those inter.est, ed. and present, calibrating or ready to calibrate, their self towards, ascending, meaning communication with the now. Also known as divine union, the natural light, the whole noted tone, which is not the past, future, the present, rather, all simultaneously. From crown to root, birth canal, baby is crowning, out head first, open skull, soft spot, now, fallen from grace, the seed planted inside the womb of darkness, space. Dimension, the atom, and even child, 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. This is the birth of a kingdom. The first destination is to obtain bachelor degree. Survive, physically. If you're receiving this, congratulations, you have a universal bachelor's degree. Survived, check that off mission list. My humble respect, and acknowledgement. Truly, this shit ain't no joke. Next, root, back to crown, we go from top to bottom, most difficult, establishment autonomy, the community, the family, vehicle so to speak. Think of a pendulum, once you initiate, one side, it self-sustains. Yet the most difficult purse, is to impact, or energize the inspiration, to initiate focus, then autonomic. The initial act also, remains at equal proportionate force. Each sphere of pendulum, experiences the impacts at different time intervals. With the fifth, the center, a 2-to-1 ratio compared to other 4. Without getting too far off, now using mathematical language, given the single measurement of time, the more the center, sphere compounds the number of impacts over each of the 2 outer layers. For simple illustration, imagine your heart the center sphere, the next layer, both sides, your body, outer layer, your mind, both sides. This balancing the flow of the motion, the momentum both sides that mirror each other, in exactly the opposite ways, with one identical essence, the trajectories. Not coordinates, but the fundamental paradigm. Oneness. It is a pendulum. To be a pendulum all components must cooperate by doing their duty. By existing. Even at rest, it is a pendulum. In motion a pendulum. In motion the spheres work to generate the self-sustained energy, motion, force, momentum, to and fro, the line, the light. The angle, the scene, the stage. The presentation. The deed, is what our black hole eyes vibrationally see, and report back to the mind. The angled wings of our ears, here, report to the mind. The gatekeeper, closed to the inner city, the closed mind, Pandora's box, and light warrior battling artificiality with its superficiality. Thinking it is the responsible party, solely, to protect the heart space. And the mind is the creator if, toxicity. The swamp that ignores or blocks out the spirit, or the body, emotion entirely. 'Cause that's what it was taught to do. So pendulum, outer spheres, from root, crown, shot to root. Birth, chaotic and traumatic experience. Then, childhood, our environment, authority, parents or otherwise, spiraling out. 0 to 7, the matrix is being established. Neuropathic labyrinth, mirroring, also, reflecting back, but that's the punchline, I don't mind providing here, and now. The to and fro, flowing the fro, back to core, or source. The amalgamation of individual experience to awareness, evolution, consciousness. Coping from the fall, from grace, into the masculine mind, our physicality, body and brain. The looking glass self is created. I am not who you think I am not who I think I am what I think, you think I am. Infinite reality creation. So, this is where we stand. At the precipitous edge of living out the illustrations in the historically fashioned, familiar, past, traditions, while demonstrating our nature, together. We are a generational trinity, and our time has come to master the art of war. Yet, all you will find, to feed your mind, with facts, don't exist. At this time, graduation, or recalibrating trajectory requires the faith, trust, and respect, the deference to act intuitively, respond coherently, and open your mind to possibility. From fear to strength, from judgment to discernment. And that is the encouragement, from, to and for the enlightenment of the ancestral wealth. Brought to you, me and we from the nature's secrets. Support is all we can offer each other. A helping hand is sharing our experiences, openly, honestly, with integrity and tolerance, for pain and otherwise. I love you, I hate you. I love you. We are all wildly intimate with the first 2 roads. The crossroads we arrive at every single time we put faith, trust and love, outside the freedom of feeling honestly. Of overthinking and missing the true definition of wisdom being ignorance. Mind is arrogance, it learns to interpret more, as a subordinate. Body feels and spirit guides. Devil decides and God, source, oneness, well, is indifference. Unconditional love, we are the home, the core, the cutting edge of creation, on the front line of being the difference. Caring, and only together, with individual integrity, can e pluribus unum, be whole. Out of many, one. As a many of ones, a collective collaboration of co-creation, community and communication. Consciousness, we are now, creating. Understand the present, the amalgamation of the Earth's human children throughout time. Knowledge is not mine, yours or anyone's property. It is a collective well, to prosperity, to share. I love you, beyond conditions. We are emotional beings, but also rational, logical, and above all, must be practical, respectful, and this all begins and ends with the individual. What we think we want, is to feel good, what we need to want is authenticity. Which feels, thinks, acts, dreams, speaks, breathes, loves, and hates. We all reside with one foot in darkness, one foot in light. All our duty is, it to acceptance. The present is the past, the future is a mystery, my story, that only is written if I tell it honestly, and now, is the time, the space, the nature and the universe, the law of oneness. I am your future, your past or your present, depending on the circumstances of our timeless intersections. Emotional intelligence, the synergized communication and balancing trajectory of mind, body and spirit. Divine union, the master's degree, collectively. Then we can move on to the doctorate's degree, eventually.